So whenever we talk of sensitivity analysis, ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at changes. Remember, it is one at a time. So changes of variables that affect net present value of a project. Changes of these variables here, what impact will they have on the project's net present value? Remember, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, things are never static. Things are never constant. We expect as we move along, yes, we have said that this is the project's net present value. We expect the project's net present value to be 10,000. This is a project we shall be implementing, say, in December. But you see, between now and December, things are changing. So then as good managers who are able to foresee, we'll need to vary. We'll need to change some of the variables and see, if this happens, what will be the impact on the net present value? Will still the net present value be positive? Will still the project be viable? So whenever we talk of sensitivity, how sensitive is the project's net present value to changes of variables, then we are looking at what we call SA, sensitivity analysis. And remember, from the mention of this net present value, the net present value is normally the first thing that you compute. Whenever you hear an examiner talking of you doing sensitivity analysis of a project, the first thing, lowest hanging fruit, should be what here, somebody? Computation of net present value. Net present value is what we need to compute. So come right away here and look at the question. The question is quite a direct one. It's fairly an obvious one. When you look at this question, you're told the TAN company is considering investing $50,000 in a new machine with an expected life of 5 years. The machine will have no scrap value at the end of 5 years. It is expected that 20,000 units will be sold each year at a selling price of 3 per unit. Variable production cost is 1.65 per unit, while an incremental fixed cost, mainly the wages of a maintenance engineer, are expected to be 10,000 per year. TAN company uses a discount rate of 12% for investment appraisal purposes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen here. If, for instance, you have a profit before depreciation and tax, profit before depreciation and tax is 10, all right? And then you have depreciation of, for example, 6. Then we have tax of what here, somebody? Of 0%, tax of 0%, tax of 0%. Could you be kind to me and tell me what will be the project's cash flow for purposes of discounting? What will be the project's cash flow? Profit before depreciation and tax is 10, depreciation is 6, there is no tax. So cash flow will be equal to what? David has been able to shout some figure there very first. Stephen as well, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What these students have been able to appreciate, including Michelle, including Irene there, is that whenever tax is not provided, whenever tax is 0, the depreciation given is irrelevant. So no tax, no depreciation. No tax, depreciation becomes useless. So 0 tax, this depreciation is as good as not being there. So straight away cash flow becomes exactly equal to profit before depreciation and tax, which is what here? 10. And we can try to really prove this. Because here, profit before depreciation and tax is 10. So we come under less depreciation of how much here? 6, which will give me 4. So this is profit before tax. Profit before tax. And then I'll come under less what here? Somebody here? Less tax. Tax itself is 0. 0% of 4 is 0. So when I subtract tax, I'm able to get my profit after tax. My profit after tax, then come and add back who? Add back depreciation. Depreciation of how much here? Somebody of 6. So 4 plus 6 gives me 10. So this is the cash flow. This is the cash flow. This is the cash flow like that, which is the same as what here? The same as this profit before depreciation and tax. So anytime, ladies and gentlemen, like this question does not have a provision for who? For tax. So don't ever try to compute anyone's depreciation. Don't compute depreciation at all. So then, ladies and gentlemen, there is another language that I've heard here which is very nice to my ears. A very nice language that I've just heard on reading this question tells me, ladies and gentlemen, that my profit, I know whenever I see price, I see variable costs. I always think about this formula, P minus V minus what here? Minus fixed costs. So then my profit here will be equal to the selling price has been provided. The selling price has been provided. The selling price has been provided. The selling price has been provided as who? The selling price has been provided here. The selling price has been provided here as 3. And then variable cost is 1.65. 1.65. Great. So we have here 3 minus 1.65. Multiply this by the number of units. The number of units in this particular case are how many? The number of units are how many? The number of units here are how many? The number of units, ladies and gentlemen, that we are told here are 20,000 every year, each year. This tells me that whatever I'll be getting will be an annuity, 20,000 each year. So times 20,000 minus the fixed cost that has been given there by the examiner, which is 50,000. Fixed cost which has been given there by the examiner, which is what here? 50,000. So then could you kindly give me this profit? Could you kindly give me this profit? Steve tells me it is 17,000. 17,000. And because it's profit here, remember this is what here per annum. Not unless they tell us every year different profits. That is an annual profit. And remember that this is profit before depreciation and the tax of 17,000. And since tax is not given, in this case here, depreciation is irrelevant. Since there is no tax, then profit before depreciation and tax will be equal to our cash flow, which is what here? 17,000. So then I will very easily, ladies and gentlemen, this fixed cost, we have to be very careful here. This, I never read this very well, but 50,000 is not our fixed cost. No, let me see whether there is anybody who was able to see that error. 50,000 is not our fixed cost. No, 50,000 is not our fixed cost. Listen and listen to me very well. This 50,000 that I picked here is the investment. The fixed cost which you're supposed to have picked here is this. The incremental fixed cost is 10,000. I don't know whether you guys picked up this error which I have here. The fixed cost is supposed to be 10,000, not 50,000. Not 50,000. I'm sorry for that. It's supposed to be 10,000. The 50,000 is the initial outlay. The 50,000 is the initial outlay. Is the initial investment. Yes. So then what are we getting as our profit? Can somebody in this case here tell us whether the profit is going to change or it's going to remain the same? Is the profit going to change or shall it remain the same? Oh, it's 17,000. So you guys decided to see my mistake and you never corrected me. You never corrected me. You're not very good people. Oh, you're not very good people. I'm joking. So ladies and gentlemen, now having gotten this cash flow, then I'll very easily give you the net present value of the project. The net present value of the project will be 17,000. And because this thing is an annuity, I'll come and multiply this with the PVFA. Now minus the initial outlay, which is 50,000. So PVFA, remember they have given us the percentage is 12%. And this particular machine we are buying will give us a service for how many years? Will give us service for how many years? Will give us service for how many years? Will give us service for how many years? 5 years. Going to serve us for 5 years. So then I would want a good student to come here and give us PVFA 12%, 5 years. If you have a table where you are able to read this, where you are able to read this, the better. PV-FAR. So David tells me it is 3.6048. 3.6048, like that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So therefore, my net present value will be 17,000 times 3.6048 minus 50,000, which will end up giving me what figure, somebody? Which will end up giving me what figure, somebody? 11,281, 11,281, 11,281, 11,281 point, 11,281 point, 11,281 point what, somebody? Is there somebody who can? 281.6. I thought so. Steve, check your values very well. Make sure you pick this the way it is. 0.6 years. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is the NPV. If it's positive, and never forget to put into brackets so that this project, even if you're not asked, it's good. Whenever you see, ladies and gentlemen, a positive NPV, you tell us straight away that the project is viable. 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 Great. Thank you so much. That is not what the examiner had asked us actually to do. This is just but one of the steps of executing sensitivity analysis. It's a low-hanging fruit. It's a low-hanging fruit. It's a low-hanging fruit. Ladies and gentlemen, having gotten that, now I will very easily come and give you the sensitivity analysis of sales volume. Sensitivity analysis of sales volume. The first one. The first one is sensitivity analysis of sales volume. Sensitivity analysis of sales volume. The first one. Sensitivity analysis of sales volume. Very important. So sensitivity analysis of sales volume, the thing that I'm required to remember is that sales volume sensitivity analysis is the same as sensitivity analysis of total contributions. This is the same as sensitivity analysis of total contribution. So anytime they talk of sensitivity analysis of sales volume, it is the same as saying sensitivity analysis of total contribution. Total contribution. And therefore, this behoves makes us, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, to compute the total contribution. So how do we get total contribution? How do we get total contribution? To get total contribution, we normally take price minus variable cost multiplied by number of units. Total contribution. Total contribution. So you're the ones who told me that, Mwalimu, you know what? The selling price is 3, and you told me that the variable cost, I've forgotten this. I've forgotten this, I must check this. You had given me the figure of variable cost. You had given me the figure of variable cost. You gave me the figure of variable cost. You gave me the figure of variable cost. Variable cost is 1.65 per annum. So minus 1.65 multiplied by a number of units here, which are how many? 20,000. 20,000. So then this will end up giving me what figure, somebody? 3 minus 1.65 times 20,000. Michelle tells me it is 27,000. Remember, this is 27,000 per what? Per annum. Because the sales given here is sales units every year. So I'll be enjoying this every year. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, that the moment I get this total contribution for purposes of sensitivity analysis, I need to come and ascertain the present value of this total contribution. The present value of this total it will be 27,000 times PV-FAR. PV-FAR 12%, 5 years. PV-FAR 12%, 5 years. Unfortunately, I have that figure somewhere. Fortunately, I have this figure somewhere. Fortunately, I know it is 27,000 times 3.6048, which will end up giving us what figure, somebody? Remember, sensitivity analysis is all about present valuation. It's all about present valuation. You can even decide to call this NPV of total contribution. Yeah, so Michelle is giving me 97,329.6. 97,329.6. Can someone else confirm this figure? Present value. David is confirming the figure. 97,329.6. Great, great. Then, ladies and gentlemen, having gotten the present value of this total contribution, to get sensitivity analysis really is not a big tussle. No, it's not hustling. No, I know for sure the formula. I know that to get sensitivity analysis of total contribution, what I would need as the numerator here is the NPV of the project. Is the NPV of the project. NPV of the project all over the present value of total contribution. All over the present value of total contribution, like that. That is the formula that I would want you guys to take home today. SA stands for who? Sensitivity analysis. Sensitivity analysis of total contribution equals NPV of project all over present value of total contribution. So is there somebody who can remind us what the NPV of the project was? Yeah, times 100 years. Times 100 years, times 100, you're right. Thank you so much. Times 100, yes. So is there somebody who can remind us what the NPV of the total project, we found this figure some time back. NPV of the total project, we found this figure some time back. We found this figure some time back. Elizabeth, two of them, 11,281.6. It is still here. It is still here. Thank you so much. It is still here. It is still here. So continuation here, our sensitivity analysis then will be equal to the NPV of the project, which is 11,281.6 all over the total present value of our contributions, which is 97,329.6 times 100, as David reminded us. So this one will give us what percentage? 11.59. And if my memory serves me well, there is a student who got this figure correctly. There is a student who got this figure correctly, true or false? There is somebody who got this 11.59 correctly. There is somebody who got this 11.59%. Who was that? Who got this figure correctly? Initially, when I had given you time to do the question, there is somebody who got this figure correctly. Who was that? Who was that? Is there somebody who can remind? You know, Zoom never cheats. It keeps memory quite a lot. I can easily go back. Is there anybody who got this 11.59%? 11.59%? Nobody, right? Nobody. Nobody. And I know why they never got it correctly, ladies and gentlemen, not because they are not wise people. It's because I had not taught them this, that sensitivity analysis of sales volume is exactly the same as sensitivity analysis of what here? Total contribution. Don't bring in present value of sales volume. We can't mix units with money. So whenever they talk about sales volume, always remember that sales volume sensitivity analysis is the same as sensitivity analysis of total contribution. I hope we are clear as regards that. Now, the second one, ladies and gentlemen, is sensitivity analysis of what? The second one, ladies and gentlemen, is sensitivity analysis of sales price. Sensitivity analysis of sales price. Sales price. If I could just give you hints here so that you guys will be able to do this on your own, you're supposed to know straight away that sensitivity analysis of sales price, you know, sales price is selling price per unit. This is the same as a sensitivity analysis, of total sales. Total sales. This is the same as sensitivity analysis of total sales. Total sales. The same as sensitivity analysis of total sales. And then, ladies and gentlemen, now for us, we shall be needed here to give them the total sales value. The total sales value. Is there somebody who can give me a formula that I shall use to get the total sales value? Is there anybody who will be able to give me the formula to use to get the total sales value? Somebody help me out here. Somebody help me out here. What will be the formula that I shall use to get the total sales value? Thank you very much, Michelle. It's price times number of units. Thank you very much. Steve, yeah, it is price times quantity. The selling price, yes, indeed, you gave me this as 3. And they're the ones who told me that, you know what, every year we shall be selling 20,000. So then this gives me 60,000 as the total sales for a whole year. Once I get the total sales, I know that my work will be to present value it. My work will be to ascertain the present value. So is there somebody who can give me the present value here? Is there somebody who can give me the present value here? Present value of total sales, present value of total sales, present value of total sales, present value of total sales will be equal to, thank you very much, Michelle. What Michelle has known is that this is per annum, it's an annual figure, and therefore would need to multiply it with the PV first, and therefore would need to take the 60,000 times 3.6048, and according to what I'm being given by Steve and Michelle here, is going to be 216,288. 216,288. Is there somebody who has a different figure? 216,288. Great. So having gotten that, could you kindly then drop the answer for this sensitivity analysis down there? Drop it in the comments. Drop it in the comments. Sensitivity analysis 5.22. Yeah, what David has known here for sure, is that, ladies and gentlemen, for us to be able to get this sensitivity analysis of total sales, sensitivity analysis of total sales, SA of total sales, what we need to do is to take the NPV of the project all over the present value of total sales, all over the present value of total sales. So NPV of the project, this figure, we got it long time ago. It was 11,281.6 all over the present value of total sales, which is 216,288 times 100, which at the end of the day, according to David, we shall be able to get 5 point what here, somebody? 5.22%. 5.22%. Now, could you kindly do the last one for me? Please do the last one for me. The last one, they want us to do something very simple. What they want us to do, the last one, they want us to give them the sensitivity analysis of variable cost. The sensitivity analysis of variable cost. Is there somebody who can do this sensitivity analysis of variable cost very fast? I'm giving you 3 minutes. You try doing sensitivity analysis of variable cost. Okay, so for variable cost, what do we have there for variable cost? We have 9.48, like that. That is correct. That is correct, and we can check the answers here. We can check the answer here. This is question number 47. At the back, I'll share this book with you. At the back here, you'll be able to see the answers very well given here. Yeah, question 47 should be around now here. Great. Let's see whether we got this correct. Let's see whether we got this correct. So you can see in this case here for sales volume, we got 11.6 something, if I remember very well. Sensitivity to sales price is 5.22. Okay, so we got 5.22. And then this one you're telling me, Mwalimu, it is 9.5%. 9.5%. And then they asked us to, of course, elucidate the advantages of sensitivity analysis as a project appraisal tool. Ladies and gentlemen, I would want you to listen and listen to me very well. Or rather, for me to be fair to everybody, we need to do this one of sensitivity analysis, especially for the students who will be following the video. Sensitivity analysis of what here? Sensitivity analysis. Sensitivity analysis of variable cost. Sensitivity analysis of variable cost. Sensitivity analysis of variable cost. So we have here sensitivity analysis of variable cost. So I would need, first of all, to calculate the total variable costs. You guys told me that the variable cost per unit was 1.65, all right? Times number of units here, which are at 20,000. So then this one here will end up giving us a what figure? What is 1.65 times 20,000, somebody? 33,000, Michelle tells me. 33,000, like that. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment I get this figure, then straight away I need to come and present value it. So present value of variable cost, I will take this 33,000 times PVFA, times PVFA. PVFA that you guys have to remind Mwalimu, it was 3 point something. PVFA that would need to remind Mwalimu, it was 3 point something, 33,000 times. Please remind me the PVFA. PVFA was equal to 3.6048. So then what is this present value of my variable cost? What is the present? 118,258. So 118,258 by 0.4. Thank you so much. And then now right away, I'll be able to get the sensitivity analysis of variable cost. Sensitivity analysis of variable cost, which will be the net present value of the whole project, which was 11,281.6. Divide this by the present value of variable cost, which is 118,258.4, like that, times 100. Yes. Which will end up giving us what figure, somebody? Which will end up giving us what figure, somebody? Oh, the present value they're reminding me, is 118. They're reminding me the present value. They're telling me, Mwalimu, no, present value is 118,958. 118, thank you very much for that correction. I love being corrected often. The more they correct me, the better I become. Great. So then we're 118,958.4, like that. So times 100%. At the end of the day, what figures are we getting? At the end of the day, what figures are we getting? We're getting 9.48%. Thank you so much. 9.48%, like that. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment I get that, then I need to come and discuss now the advantages of sensitivity analysis. And there are not many. Ladies and gentlemen, sensitivity analysis enables us to single out critical variables, to single out the most important variables that should be watched, should be Yeah, I'm changing battery. So sensitivity analysis, ladies and gentlemen, basically helps us to do what here to single out the most sensitive what here variables. Don't use the word sensitive, but critical. The most critical variables where our attention is mostly needed. Where our attention is mostly done what here needed. So sensitivity analysis helps in identification of the critical variables. The ones in this case here that if we play a little bit like this, we shall have everything in this case here going wrong, right? The ones that are very sensitive, like in this particular case, between volume, price, and contribution, which one is the most sensitive one? Which one is the most sensitive? The one that is most sensitive is normally the smallest. The one that is most sensitive is normally the smallest. The one that has got the smaller percentage. If you tweak it a little bit like this, it doesn't give you big room for movement. It doesn't give you big room for moving around. It is almost close to zero. If it is exactly zero, then that becomes now the most critical, right? So Michelle is saying that the one that has got the smallest percentage of flexibility or flexing around is sales price. The one with the smallest percentages, sensitivity analysis percentage, is the one that is most critical. If I'm told to rank those particular variables, I'll start by giving number one to the one that has got the least percentage. So, ladies and gentlemen, basically we are saying that sensitivity analysis is a model that helps us to basically bring out the variables that we have and then get to know where do we concentrate at, right? Where do we put most of our efforts in to ensure that things do not change? So basically, it gives us what we call, it is a management by exception tool. A management by exception what here? Tool. A management by exception tool. And I would want us to read the answer given here by ACCA. So we are told here, the basic approach of sensitivity analysis is to calculate the project's net present value and alternative assumptions to determine how sensitive it is to changing conditions. An indication is thus provided of those variables to which the NPV is most sensitive, the critical variables, and the extent to which those variables may change before the investment result in a negative NPV. Sensitivity analysis therefore provides an indication of why a project might fail. Management should review critical variables to assess whether or not there is a strong possibility of events occurring which will lead to a negative net present value. Management should also pay attention to controlling those variables to which the NPV is particularly sensitive once the decision has been taken to accept the investment. So the thing that you can't forget easily here really is that sensitivity analysis is all about bringing out critical, most sensitive variables of a project which we should be able to concentrate on as management to ensure that we avail everything that is possible, all our resources that we have towards them to ensure that we shall not have too much changes. Because if they change a little like this, then automatically the project fails. The project fails. Great. So how about part B of this question? How about part B of this question? How about part B of this question? Quite an easy one. Part B of this question is very easy. Upon further investigations, it is found that there is a significant chance that the expected sales volume of 20,000 units per year will not be achieved. The sales manager of TAN company suggests that sales volume could depend on expected economic states that could be assigned the following probabilities. So we have economic state, probability vis-a-vis the sales volumes. Calculate and comment on the expected net present value of the project. This one I should be able to give you a few minutes to compute. Today is your day. Today is your day. Okay, so what answer are they getting? Nobody has gotten an answer. I would expect someone to get an answer before I say something. Okay, so I can see one chart here. Expected net present value 18,000. No. Steven 202 930 93.6. Let's see. 47. Great. They are getting 88.52. 88.52. I can see another chart here. Yes, Michelle, I'll agree with Michelle. Michelle's answer is quite close. Yes. Michelle's answer is quite close. Very close indeed. Very close indeed. Very close indeed. Okay, so I can see 3 more charts, which is very encouraging. Very encouraging. Because happy. Michelle iko mtu anataka ukue neighbor yake. The best of being her neighbor is to screenshot your work. Screenshot it and then you send it through WhatsApp, right? Very easy. Ladies and gentlemen, great. So let's see. Yes, let's see here. So first of all, they've given us 3 possible quantities, right? 3 possible quantities. Are you able to remind us those quantities? They've given us 3 possible quantities that we're going to sell. So the quantities here are 17,500, 17,500. Then we have 20,000. And then we have the last one, which happens to be what here, somebody? 22,500, 22,500. With these probabilities of 0.3, 0.3, 0.6, and 0.1. Now, as we did yesterday, of course, what they would expect us to do, ladies and gentlemen, here is to come and give them the average quantity sold, the expected quantity sold, average. So what am I going to do to be able to get this average expected quantity, the average stroke expected quantity? What should I do? What should I do to get that average expected quantity? Can somebody talk to me? Please talk to me. What should I do? What should I do to get expected quantity? They're not talking to me. Probability times the sales, isn't it? Quantity sold, yes. Probability times the sales, yes. Tata, that is it. So take this. So we have here 17,500 times 0.3 plus 20,000 times 0.6 plus 22,500 times 0.1, which will end up giving us what figure? Somebody, please give me this figure. Please give me this figure. Yeah, 19,500. But now remember that whatever you've gotten here is X. Whatever you've gotten here is X. And we really need profitability analysis for us to be able to see how viable our project is. I need to do the profitability. So we know it's profit equals price minus variable cost multiplied by number of units minus fixed cost. The selling price, they haven't told us that the selling price will change. The selling price is going to remain the same. The selling price was what here, somebody? I want to believe the selling price was 3. Remember, this part is connected with the upper part. So the selling price was 3. All right. Are we together up to here? Is the selling price 3? Let's first of all strike the deal. Yes. Minus variable cost. Are you able to see? Remember our variable cost per unit? Variable cost per unit. 1.65. So we have here 1.65 multiplied by now the expected number of units here, which are 19,500 minus the farm's fixed cost. Are you able to remember the farm's fixed cost? Yeah, 10,000 Kenya shillings. 10,000 Kenya shillings. So could you kindly give me this figure? $16,325. So this 16,325 automatically also becomes my cash flow. This automatically also becomes my what? My cash flow. It also becomes my cash flow because we don't have tax here, right? And therefore my net present value, which will be expected because of what here? Averaging, will be this 16,325 multiplied by PVFA minus the initial outlay. And if my memory serves me well, the initial outlay was 50,000 minus the initial outlay, which was 50,000. So then we have here 16,325. Can somebody in this case here remind us, can somebody remind us what PVFA was? PVFA ilikuwa inakuja ngapi, somebody PVFA. Nothing is changing here really. The only variable that changed here was what here, the quantity. The PVFA is 3.6048 minus 50,000, which will end up giving us what figure? Which will end up giving us what figure? Which will end up giving us 8848.36 like that. The project is viable still. The project is still viable. The project is still viable. So mlikosea wapi? Wala ambao mlikuwa mmekosea, mlikosea wapi? Mlikosea wapi? Mlikosea wapi? They don't want to tell me. They don't want to tell me. Most important thing is that now they have known the way. Now they have known how to do it, isn't it? Is that okay? We used volume. We used volume as our cash flow. Is it possible, Steve, for you in this case here to lift up your hand wherever you are like this, and then you pinch yourself? Pinch yourself that I will never use quantity again to compute my net present value. Pinch yourself and confirm that you have pinched yourself so seriously. Yes, great, great. I shall never use quantity. Actually, I even don't use profit. We don't even use profit. Remember, at the end of the day, if we are taxed, we would have computed depreciation. We must always go all the way to the cash flow. Thank you very much, Steve. Great. Now aware, that is the most important thing. Just like how Saul became Paul through seeing a different direction. That is very important, Steve. Very important. Great. Now, will you kindly allow me now to go to something different, to go to decision trees? Would you allow Mwalimu to go to decision tree? Great, great. Thank you so much. Great. So decision tree. And in this decision tree that I would want to do today here, I would want us to use this same question that we have used really here. Yeah, decision tree. And then it will also allow me to do something very important, to refuel my pen. So all of us now here, the 12 of us who are here, have we finished watching the videos or not yet? Where are we? Am I punishing you guys too much? Am I punishing you guys too much? Is that punishment heavy enough? If you feel that I'm for sure punishing you, please forgive me. Get all possibilities of forgiving Mwalimu. It's not Mwalimu. It's not out of Mwalimu's really liking to punish you. It is system changes. It is system changes. Systems are changing quite fast. And, you know, when you came from the intermediate level is quite a simple level. Very simple level, very simple level. There is really nothing much there. All right. If it is group consolidation, we only look at one subsidiary, cash flow, nothing really, right? But when you come to the advanced level, this is now where studies are beginning, right? This is where the CPA studies are beginning. And that is why I asked you kindly that this is something that we need to really pull together. It's a relay. It's a relay. I run a little bit, give it to you, and then you run with the baton until you finish. Yes. Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you allow Mwalimu here, I'll be able to go straight away to decision tree. Decision trees. Basically here, we are capturing our decision-making process in form of a diagram. So decision trees are a diagrammatical presentation, pictorial, it's a better term, presentation of the decision-making process, decision-making process, that picture. So like now in the question that we have just been doing here, it involves some kind of decision-making. Do we acquire this machine or should we not acquire the machine? All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one thing that you're supposed to know in decision trees is that we have the symbols that we shall be using. So the symbols that we shall be using, we have the box. This box will basically be the alternatives node. Alternatives node. And then number 2, we have the circle here, which is a states of nature node. States of nature node. Also known as probabilistic. Also known as probabilistic node. Also known as probabilistic what here? Node. Meaning that for us to be able to draw a decision tree, we need probabilities. Without probabilities, you can never draw a tree, right? So alternatives node, of course, this is that node that we shall be capturing all those activities that do not have probabilities. So here we are going to capture activities without probabilities. Activities without probabilities will come here. Activities without probes, without probabilities will come there. Activities without probabilities will go there. Great. So can I wrap this? 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 They are not talking to me. I can see so many charts that I haven't read here. Oh. Yeah, George, hii inatumika wapi? Hiyo ni kwa scenario analysis. Thank you very much for asking that. Go back to your scenario analysis video and watch. Great. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. So when they tell us to draw a tree, like last semester, they did tell us to draw a tree. Here is where we are. This is the question that I would want to use. This question here. This question here is the one that I would want to use. The same question 47 is the one that I would want to use. Great. You see, like now, number 1 here, you can see for part A, there are no probabilities that have been given at all. No probabilities have been given at all. But when I come to part B, I can see probabilities being given. So it means that this part B, I can easily solve it using what we call decision tree. So let's solve this using decision tree, and then we get to see how it goes. We are considering investing. We haven't yet invested. We are making a decision to invest or not to invest. So listen and listen to me very well. So this is what I shall do. When I'm drawing my tree, this is what I shall do. It's a simple thing. Always, all the decision trees must start with a box. Always. A box like that. Because we want to make a decision. There are alternatives that we have. So we've got 2 alternatives here, really. We could either invest, or in this case here, we do not invest. Don't invest. Like that. If we don't invest, unless you are thieves, if we don't invest, we don't expect to earn anything. Like Veronica 𝐭𝐸𝐬, who is very much safe, she'll tell you if she doesn't invest, she cannot reap where she hasn't, in this case here, put in anything on the ground. Right? So if you don't invest, not unless you are a thief, you should never ever reap anything. Right? If we invest, what are we going to do now? If we decide to invest, I can see some options that are coming on my way. And these options are very slippery. Why? Because they are what here? They are probabilistic. So there are three options really. The quantity to sell. The quantity to sell. So they are quite probabilistic. Slippery, they can go either way. I have to capture them because they're probabilistic. I have to capture them from where? From this circle. So in this case here, quantity here could either be 17,500. Quantity could either be what here, 20,000, or what here, somebody 22,500, if I'm not wrong. Three of them. Yeah, they're here. And their probabilities have been given. So the probability is 0.3. Probability here is 0.6. Probability is 0.1. Right? I would want you to, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, listen and listen to me very well. I happen to be doing some small farming in Kajiado, Isinya. Like now I've planted about 5 acres of beans. So of course I planted just the other day during this rainy season. So where I sleep at times, I have to turn around. Why? Because I'm imagining there are two possibilities. Either we are going to harvest those things. Look, Kajiado is quite, yeah, you might be my neighbor. Great. So either we shall harvest or we don't harvest anything. And of course, these two activities, you can see they are probabilistic. It's probable that things may be okay and we harvest, or things may not be okay and we don't harvest. All right. All right. So the same case with these guys. If they decide to invest today, and how much are they investing? Remember, if they decide to invest today, they're going to invest 50,000 US dollars, 50,000. It has to be in brackets because it's a cash outflow. So if they invest today, when they are trying to look at this pie, quite a tiny pie, right? They can see three possibilities. If things work very well, average, worst case scenario, and these things happens to be what here probabilistic, and that is why we are capturing them from where? From this circle. And see the probabilities. The two that we have here are not probabilistic. They can only come from a box like that. And that is the end of my decision tree. Now what I need to do is to come and analyze. So, and in my analysis, what I would want you guys to do for me kindly, I would want you to, first of all, come and give me profits. Ignore the branches and give me profits for each branch. So I would want you guys to give me profit for each branch. It is price minus variable cost multiplied by number of units. Remember our fixed cost of 10,000. So this is branch number 1, this is branch number 2, this is branch number 3. So I would want to do my calculations here separately because of my space. So branch number 1, so I'm doing profitability analysis. So for branch number 1, my profit here will be the price still remains. Are you able to remember the price of 3? Are you able to remember the price of 3? Are you able to remember the price of 3? Are you able to remember the price of 3? Price of 3. They are forgotten. The price of 3. The price of 3. Are they able to remember the price of 3? Yes. And then variable cost was how much? If you can remember from this question. Variable cost was how much? Variable cost was how much? Variable cost was how much? 1.65. Thank you very much. So for branch number 1, we are going to sell how many units here? 17,500. 17,500 minus, ladies and gentlemen, minus our fixed cost, which is 10,000. 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 So into brackets 3 minus 1.65 close times 17,500 minus 10,000. What figure are we getting? As Steve tells me it is 13,625. Thank you so much. So please go to branch number 2. Please go to branch number 2. Branch number 2. Remember, most of the things, actually everything is remaining the same. The only thing that we shall be having changes is the quantity. The quantity. So in this case here, price is 3 minus 1.65 multiplied by 20,000. The fixed cost remains at 10,000. So then at the end of the day, what figure are we getting here? Somebody. At the end of the day, what figure are we getting here? Somebody. 17,000. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So from there, ladies and gentlemen, number 3, we have still 3 minus the variable cost of 1.65 times 22,500 minus fixed cost of 10,000. Could you kindly give me these figures? 2375. 2375. Now remember that we are lucky. This question never had any issue to do with taxation, never had tax. So meaning that whatever figures that we have here are our cash flows as well. These are our cash flows as well. These are our cash flows as well. Now, so I would want you to convert these cash flows very fast to net present value. And remember still, we are ignoring probabilities. We are ignoring probabilities. So the basic steps of decision trees, number 1, basic steps, you draw the tree. Number 2, you compute net present value of each branch. Ignore all probabilities. Ignore probes. Ignore probabilities. Ignore probabilities. And then number 3, you'll be able to come and give us what we call joint probabilities. You'll have to come and give us what we call joint what here? Joint probabilities. And then lastly, now you'll come and give us what we call the expected net present value. Expected net present value. Those are the basic steps that I'm supposed to remember always. That I'm supposed to remember always. So we have already done the first bit. We have drawn the tree. Now we are in the process of getting step number 2, computation of net present value of each branch. So I would want to come and put a column here for net present value. So net present value for branch number 1, this will be 13,625 times PVFA minus 50,000. Minus 50,000, minus 50,000. The question that we are doing is here. This is the question that we're doing. Minus 50,000. Remember, PVFA, ladies and gentlemen, will still remain the same. What I would want you to do is to remind me the figure, the PVFA figure. Is there somebody who can remind Mwalimu the PVFA figure? We had obtained it. The PVFA will not keep on changing. PVFA will remain the same. We already obtained it. PVFA, who can remind Mwalimu, PVFA is 3.6048. This PVFA is 3.6048. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So then could you kindly give me NPV of the first branch? Give me NPV of the first branch. Give me NPV of branch number 1. So branch number 1, I'm being given a figure of minus 884.6. That's branch number 1. That's branch number 1. Veronica, unaonaje msichana anaitwa Michelle? Unamuonaje Michelle? Unamuonaje Michelle? Pako unacheka. Ni moto wa kuotea mbali, eh? Ni moto wa kuotea mbali. Trust you me, Veronica, the only difference between you between you and Michelle is that Michelle has watched all the videos, and you, Veronica, you've only watched 5 at most. True or false? True or false? Sure. That is the only difference. That is the only difference. The moment you only make guess vizuri, uko 5, uko halfway. The moment you watch the 10, you'll be super. You'll be super. You'll be tops. Come on, Michelle. Great. So how about number 2? Branch number 2, we have this 17,000 times the same PV-FA, 360.48 minus 50,000, which according to Michelle, is 11,281.6. 11,281.6. And then now lastly, number 3, according to Michelle, we have 234.47.8. 47.8 like that. Thank you. Where are my boys in this class? Where are my boys in this class? The boy child. Are we together? 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 Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. So now we have the NPVs as per the steps. NPVs as per the steps. So come and give us second last step of joint probability. Fortunately, there are not many probabilities yet to join, really. Not many probabilities to join. You know, if, for example, we had a probability of, say, 0.1 here. So I would have walked across the, I'll be able to do such examples. I would have walked across for me to be able to get what here across the whole road. I would have taken 0.1 and 0.3 to multiply them, to join them up. But here we only have single probabilities. So for single, you simply pull them here, 0.3, then we have 0.6, then we have a 0.1. And then now this becomes your X, this becomes your P. You create that column of tata XP there, XP. So simply multiply this and this, give me a figure. Minus 884.6 times 0.3 times 0.3. Please give me a figure which I should be able to use there. So it comes to minus 26, minus 26, minus 26. 265, eh? Who is wrong? Who is correct? 0.38 minus 265.38. Thank you so much. How about the second one? This and that. Please give me this and this. Please give me a figure. 67, 68, 67, 68, 67, 68.96. Thank you very much, Michelle. And then now the last one, we'll talk of this times this, which will be 2344.78. So please come here and give me summation of XP. So summation of XP, we add them. Summation of XP, which will end up giving us a how much, ladies and gentlemen? They are not talking to me. 8848.36. 8848.36. Are you able to remember this figure? Is this figure familiar? Is this figure familiar? Is this figure familiar? Is there anybody who has ever seen this figure anywhere? Michelle has seen it. Elizabeth has seen it. Right? Right. We got this figure when we were using the other method. Yes. Yes. Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, come and compare now the two. If we invest, this is what you're expecting, positive NPV. If we don't invest, tutakuwa hapa kwa zero. Where are we better off? Where are we better off? Where are we better off? We would rather invest. So come and make the conclusion, their conclusion, the company should go ahead and invest. The company should go ahead and do what here and invest. The company should go ahead and invest. The company should go ahead and do what? Invest. That is it. That is it. So now you have in those videos, I think you have some 2 questions of 3 plus now this one, right? Right. Plus the one that came last semester. The one that came last semester, I would want each one of us to do it as an assignment. As an assignment. The one that came last semester, I would want us to challenge it as an assignment. As an assignment. Otherwise, we have had about 2 hours, I mean, from 10. About 2 hours. That's quite enough for us. I would want us to close the meeting. And now you can see you're becoming better and better every day. You're becoming better and better. The assignment is last sitting. Last sitting. Let me write like this. Last sitting. There is nothing as dangerous as trying to put a man into task of remembering dates. Last sitting, there is a question on decision tree. Michelle, I'm so sure you are very bright. When you open that, people will be able to see a decision tree question. Yeah, if you can do that question, say in 30 minutes, and there is one problem there. I don't have the paper. I have it myself. I have it. I'll be able to send you the paper. Even Google has it. Google has it. Oh, Galaxy man. Great. I'll be not even later. I'll share it right now and even stop it so they can continue converting.